elderly gentlemen like myself. It's called Face and Shoulders. I like to go to the kotel, and right before I start davening, turn to people and go, which way is Mizrach? I hate when I'm outside smoking and people come up to me and they say, do you have an extra cigarette? None of them are extra. It's not like when I went to the store and bought them, I was like, 20 in a pack. What am I going to do with all the extra ones? If you're on this time of year and you order the pasta primavera, there is no way it's going to be in season. I don't even know why they still have it on the menu after June 21st. One time I went to my friend's house, it was recently actually, and his 2-year-old daughter came up to me and she said, you're a poopy and you wear diapers. I was shocked. I said, have you been reading my diary? How do you know so much about me? I saw some TV shows that had already previously been aired. I don't like to use the word reruns because it sounds too much like a bowel disorder. I want to get my name illegally changed. And then use that if I ever get in trouble. And then I can pull out my real ID and say, see, officer, that's not even me. I'm this guy. I'm Zev. And he would never do that. I need a page turner. Can anyone read jokes? When it comes to my clothing, I don't like to use the word clash. I prefer to say that each of the items individually vies for the viewer's attention. They have all this new technology. They have this thing, maybe you've seen it, it's the iPad. It's remarkable, but they're coming out with a new one, a bigger one. They've maximized it. It's the Max iPad. I didn't get that either. I wanted to save some time, so I took the Shabbos stairs, but I forgot that on the way down they stopped at every step. If you're a writer and you have a pen name, of course it would be legible. I used to work at this bar that would have themed parties every once in a while. And one time they had a 60s themed party, and they decorated it with signs that said peace and free love. And I said, free love? That's over a 400 shekel savings. They also had a pool table. I'm not very good at pool, but I think it's because I'm a little homophobic. And between the stick and the balls and the bending over, it's hard for me to concentrate. I lose my focus. Now that I'm Israeli, I belong to an elite club of elite coffee drinkers. Yeah, when I first thought of that joke, I had a feeling it wasn't funny. And now that I've heard it out loud, that's all the proof I need. So, I was at the mikveh this morning, registering a complaint. Somebody keeps taking down my diving board. Also, I've noticed that the water tastes a little funny. So, where are y'all from? Oh great, my foot fell asleep. Finally. He was up all week. Shh, try not to wake it. A woman said to me recently, "Are you stalking me?" I said, "No, I don't have that kind of time. It's more of a hobby, really." I was remarking today to my best friend in the whole world that I can't wait for the day that he's no longer imaginary. I had a similar conversation with my girlfriend, and now her parents are even more mad at me. When I go to singles events, I like to pick out the most attractive woman there and gingerly approach her and say, "Can you watch my things? I'm gonna go mingle." One time I was offered a shidduch that they described as being Reuben-esque, and I said, "Great, I love that sandwich." Years ago, one summer, this was in the early 1900s, I modeled for Marcel Duchamp. I was the staircase, which was not what we agreed on, but in the end, you couldn't tell the difference anyway. All right, you know what? Not only do people not get Cubist art, they also don't get Cubist jokes. Cubist. Are you making fun of my speech impediment? That's funny because one time I was listening to an interview with the Hood Barak, and he goes, "We hope that they'll see through the smoke screens to the peace process." And I was like, "Awesome! I don't have a lisp. I've just been speaking Hebrew this whole time." When my daughter was born, right before we brought her home, I plastered her room with posters of Renoir and Monet, because I just feel that first impressionists are so important. I have one child, but that number could be up to 3 times as much. Not because of promiscuity, but because I'm not good at math. If I were to have identical twins, then on their first day of school, I would tell the teacher that one of them was adopted, and she needs to be very sensitive to that. The city won't let me open up my own burgers bar or a Cafe Hillel, and I've just been feeling very disenfranchised. I love the sound of a guitar being tuned. It just fills the air with possibility. I have a question, and I want an honest answer. Did Stevie Wonder really just call to say "I love you," or did somebody else dial for him? Thank you. Thank you, sweet waitress. She's so nice. I try to order a beer from the waitress, but she's just so busy, you know, with her career. If a picture says 1,000 words, then I think people who write captions are major underachievers. I want to get my middle name changed to Lloyd. All the greats have Lloyd as their middle name. Frank Lloyd Wright, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Samuel Lloyd Jackson, I think, Ron Lloyd Hubbard. I don't know, the list goes on. They say that America has an obesity problem, but I think that's the wrong perspective. They need to say that Americans are winning the war on hunger. If you were photographing a picture, a performance of Mussorgsky's pictures at an exhibition, would it be called Pictures of an Exhibitionist? And would children be discouraged from viewing? Of all of Prokofiev's piano concertos, my favorite is still his first, and I'm not ashamed to admit that, even though I know it makes me come off sounding like some kind of simpleton. I studied air guitar for a while, but I only learned the major scales, so there's still a lot of solos I can't play. Sometimes I wonder, how come we're not eating any of the other parts of the falafel? 2, 1. The guy's got it, and girl got it. Okay. I've been doing some writing lately. I'm working on a special needs self-help language book. It's called The Idiot Savant's Guide to French for Dummies. I installed thermal imaging into my glasses so that I can tell who's wearing thermal underwear. Now I'm hoping for a long, cold winter. I'm a drinker who works out occasionally, so my abs fluctuate between a six-pack and a Coors party ball. If you have an advanced case of a certain condition, does that mean that you could say that you excel at it? As a child, I excelled at bedwetting. And then when I got a little older, I excelled at acne. Years from now, probably decades, I'll excel at hair loss. Do we have time for one more? We have time for more? You guys want to hear it? Okay. This is in C major. It's the apartheid key. If any blacks show up, it's strictly accidental. My shampoo bottle, all shampoo bottles come with instructions. Lather, rinse, and then it says repeat if necessary. It could be days before I'll know if it was necessary. How am I supposed to tell if it's necessary to repeat if I'm still in the shower and I just wash my hair? You guys, can you come here for a second? Should this be cleaner? Does this seem soft enough to you? It's a weird instruction. I would like to see that in a cookbook. Serves 12. People still a little hungry? Repeat if necessary. Soap doesn't come with instructions. Although I did, so there's one bar that has an instruction on it, but it didn't say who to dial. There's a soap called Dial. And on the bar, it says Dial. Idiots. I'm just kidding. How come you didn't paint this part? Thank you very much. You've all been very tolerant.